faintest tickle of the outside edge of the bat ended not just Virat Kohli's blossoming innings on Wednesday but also a blossoming career streak. As he returned to the Canberra pavilion, grim-faced at being dismissed for 63 runs, Kohli was in fact walking away from his first calendar year without scoring an ODI century since his debut season. Then took a combination of a pandemic-shortened cricket season and sustained excellence from Australia's Josh Hazlewood to narrowly stop Kohli from doing what he does best and not extend his streak to a 12th year. Twice this year Kohli got to a score of 89, in Bengaluru in January and Sydney last week, and on both occasions, it was Hazlewood who stalled him from getting any further. Hazlewood has now dismissed Kohli in every match this series and across 4 consecutive India-Australia matches overall. Kohli and India played just 9 one-day internationals in 2020, 6 of them against Australia and 3 in and against New Zealand. He still smacked 5 half-centuries in that period and averaged 47.9 this year, extraordinary numbers by even the loftiest standard. But because the 3-digit score remained elusive, 2020 and 2008 now bracket a most incredible spell of consecutive years in which Kohli often seemed to be notching ODI hundreds for fun. It was incredible while it lasted. Ever since his first ODI century struck in India's final match of 2009 at the Eden Gardens eased him into the new decade, Kohli simply did not look back. 2010 saw 300s, 2011 saw 4 and 2012 a watershed year in his career when he scored possibly his greatest ODI 100 in Hobart and followed that up with his biggest ODI 100 in Dhaka, all in the space of 20 days, witnessed 5. In 2016, with the team's focus on the T20 World Cup at home, Kohli played just 1 ODI more than he did this year. He still struck 300s in 10 matches. But even that isn't as crazy as 2018, where Kohli collected 6 ODI hundreds from just 14 ODIs, his second successive year of collecting a half-dozen tons. It wasn't far from 3 years in a row. 2019 saw him score 5 one-day hundreds. As phenomenal as that run was, Kohli's 11 straight years isn't the world record or for that matter, even the Indian one. Both of those are the same man, Sachin Tendulkar. There wasn't a single year between 1994, when he struck his maiden short-format ton, and 2012, when he retired, that did not witness a Tendulkar ODI 100. That's 19 years on the bounce. To put Kohli's streak of 2009 T02019 in perspective, it is important to understand that a large tally of hundreds doesn't guarantee annual consistency with 3-figure scores. Ricky Ponting, with 30 ODI hundreds, has a best run of 7 years of 2005 to 2011 while Brian Lara, once the all-time ODI hundreds leader with 17, could muster only a string of 5 years of 1995 to 1999. Among active cricketers, there are only 3 batsmen who could realistically match Kohli. Rohit Sharma, who struck 100 against Australia in the Bengaluru game this year, now has 8 consecutive years with ODI centuries of 2013 to 2020, just as many and in exactly the same years for Australia skipper Aaron Finch, who twice scored hundreds against India in 2020. And if Faf du Plessis manages 100 in the upcoming ODI series against England, he will extend his run to 7 straight years. But among the retired ones, there is one batsman with as many consecutive years as Kohli and another with one more than Kohli. Neither of them being a hallmark of consistency in the conventional sense. Herschel Gibbs, incidentally Kohli's favorite player during his under-19 days, scored his 21 ODI centuries in a 11-year spell between 1999 and 2009. Each of those years dotted with at least 1 ton, 6 of them with precisely 1, including in 2006, when his 175 caused the highest and most sensational chase in one-day cricket. Seated just above Kohli or Gibbs and behind only Tendulkar is New Zealand's Nathan Astle, who spread his relatively modest set of 16 ODI centuries over 12 back-to-back years of hitting ODI hundreds. Active for all of 13 years, Astle struck 100 in all of them bar the final one in 2007, with a single 100 in 9 of those years.